Here's a quadratic formula application problem. This problem is from your book, Algebra 2, from Holt-McDougall, Common Core Edition. It says an outfielder throws a baseball to the player on third base. The height h of the ball in feet is modeled by this function, where t is the time in seconds. The third baseman catches the ball when it is 4 feet above the ground. The question is, to the nearest tenth of a second, how long was the ball in the air before it was caught? So let's imagine that we're throwing a ball to the third baseman. Whenever we throw a ball, whenever we kick a soccer ball, whenever we shoot a rocket, it will have parabolic motion. In this function here, I can see it's a quadratic function. I see there's a negative in front of the square term that indicates that this parabola opens down. So if I make a little image of what might be happening here, I have something like this, okay? Something like that, a parabola. It has a maximum point. Somewhere along here, it's going to hit the ground. Your x-axis is your time axis, and this is the height of the ball in feet. So looking at this visual, I can see that what they're asking me is, how much time was the ball in the air total? So I'm going to measure how much time it took from when the time it was thrown to the time it was caught. And it tells me that the ball was caught at a height of 4 feet. So the ball didn't get to hit the ground. It was caught before it hit the ground. So I want to know how long it took from here to here. Okay? So that means from time equals 0 to this time here. I want to know how much this is. And this is very simple to do since I have the function. The function states that the height of the ball will be given by negative 16t squared plus 19t plus 5. Okay, so I know that the height at which the ball was caught is 4 feet above the ground. So they're telling me the height of the ball. It's 4. And I'm going to find how much t is when the height is 4. So what I have here is a quadratic function, which I have to solve for t. I know how to solve for t by factoring or by completing the square or by using the quadratic formula. In this case, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Before I do that, I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to join it with this 5 so that all of my terms are on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 4 from each side, and this becomes 0 is equal to negative 16t squared plus 19t plus 1. And now I'm going to identify that a is equal to negative 16, b is equal to 19, and c equals 1. And I'm going to plug these values inside the quadratic formula. Here's the quadratic formula. It says opposite of b. So if b is 19, the opposite of 19 would be negative 19. And then I'm going to take 19 squared minus 4 times a, which is 16 negative times c, which is 1, and divide everything by 2 times a, which is negative 16. So I'm going to plug everything in. I plugged everything in, and now I'm going to calculate this value inside of the radical, inside the square root. With my calculator, I'm going to do 19 squared plus, why plus? Because negative times negative will give you plus. And I'm going to multiply 4 times 16. And everything will be divided over negative 32, because negative 16 times 2 is 32 negative. You have the square root of 425. So let's go ahead with the calculator and calculate the square root of 425. And this is what you get. Okay, when you took the square root of 425, you get 20.62. Now, be careful here. We're going to have two different x values. We're going to have x equals negative 19 plus 20.62 over negative 32. And we're also going to have x equals negative 19 minus 20.62 over negative 32. With your calculator, let's calculate both of these values. We're going to subtract 19 from 20.62 and then divide by negative 32. And here we're going to do negative 19 minus 20.62 over negative 32. And these are our final results. These are your two results. Notice that you have a negative value for seconds and you have a positive value for seconds. So we know we can't have negative time. So we discard this answer. And the answer is 1.24 seconds. That's how long the ball was in the air before it was caught at 4 feet. 1.24 seconds. This is your final answer. I'll see you in the next video.